Nelson Whitehead was a wizard of immense power. His wealth was legendary. Ancient artifacts filled his manor. He could move mountains with a flick of his wrist, summon storms with a whisper. Yet, for all his power, Nelson Whitehead yearned. He craved something more. He desired a love to conquer his loneliness. One day, Queen Summer of the Summer Isles arrived at his doorstep. She was known for her beauty and wisdom. Her kingdom, though small, prospered under her rule. Summer had heard whispers of Nelson's power. She sought his help, for a darkness threatened her land. Nelson was captivated by Summer's presence. Her emerald eyes held a depth he'd never seen. Her laughter, like wind chimes, broke through his loneliness. He vowed to help her not out of obligation, but from a stirring in his heart. The early years of their marriage were idyllic. Nelson, fueled by his love for Summer, ruled with compassion and wisdom. He used his magic to bring prosperity to the land. He built hospitals that healed the sick and schools that educated the masses. He eradicated poverty and famine. Summer stood by his side, her love an unyielding force that guided him. She was his conscience, his confidant. She tempered his ambition, reminding him always of the people he ruled. Together, they ushered in a golden age. The change in Nelson was gradual, a subtle shift in demeanor. He became more withdrawn, his brow perpetually furrowed. The laughter that once came so easily was replaced with a strained smile. He spent less time with his family, more time secluded in his study. Whispers of a new kind of magic reached his ears, dark magic, powerful and forbidden. It promised even greater power, the ability to control not just the elements, but the very fabric of existence. At first, he resisted the temptation. He had Summer, his children, his kingdom. What more could he desire? Nelson's reign of terror began subtly. He imposed new laws, stricter and crueler than before. The people, used to his benevolent rule, were confused, frightened. Dissent was met with swift and brutal punishment. The whispers of dissent grew louder, evolving into cries of outrage. He withdrew from his family, his love for them replaced with a cold indifference. Summer, her heart broken, watched in horror as the man she loved transformed into a tyrant. His pursuit of power had consumed him, leaving behind only a shell of the man she had married. The rebellion started in the whispers of the oppressed. It grew, fueled by the people's anger and desperation. They had once loved their king, had believed in him. Now they saw him for what he truly was, a tyrant drunk on power. The rebellion spread like wildfire. From the humblest peasant to the wealthiest merchant, the people rose up against their king. Nelson, blinded by his own ambition, was unprepared for the uprising. He had underestimated the people's love for their queen, their desperation for freedom. The rebellion, once a flicker of defiance, had become an inferno, consuming everything in its path. The kingdom that Nelson had built, the dynasty he had sought to establish, crumbled around him. The fall of the Whiteheads was swift and brutal. The once great king, consumed by his own ambition, was left with nothing but the ashes of his own making.